So Tyrese Haliburton recently underwent a successful surgery to repair that Achilles tendon that he unfortunately tore in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Indiana ultimately lost the game to the Thunder. Congrats to the OKC Thunder for becoming NBA champions. Uh, Tyrese Haliburton gained a lot of fans and a lot of respect this postseason. Again, I talked about this ad nauseum at this point. We talked about how I hated that he was labeled most overrated player in the NBA. I thought that was just like a real cheap shot, unnecessary shot at Tyrese Haliburton. And he really just, this postseason, he really just emerged. Like, again, he was inconsistent. You would like to see more consistency for a guy that you want to consider a star player in this league. But he had such amazing clutch moments. One of the more he had so many clutch moments in this postseason that it was historic. We saw it in every series over and over and over again, even in the finals. And when you start seeing calf strain labeled with a player, my mind went to KD. My mind went to other players that were dealing with that. The next thing to go is the Achilles. Unfortunately, he looked great in Game 6. Looked like he wasn't hobbled by the calf strain very well. But I was just hoping and praying that that leg would just hold out for one more day, one more night. Let it hold out for one more night, and then deal with whatever it comes in the offseason. Hopefully, you got some rest and you recover from it. But unfortunately, you took a gamble, and we won't see Tyrese Haliburton next season at all, likely because, as we know, a torn Achilles takes a full calendar year to get back, and possibly another year to really get back to yourself, so to speak. Tyrese Haliburton's 25. So you imagine he has a lot of runway left in his career to get back into form. It's never going to be the same, but you imagine he would have the ability to get back into form, given how young he is. He wrote in his Instagram post when he was on the surgery bed saying that I'd do it again and again and again. So people are questioning, why would you play if you knew the risks going into that? Well, he did know the risk. He understood that very well. But it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I couldn't see a scenario where a competitor like Tyrese Haliburton would sit out. Unless it was already torn and he couldn't move. That's the only way that he was not going to play. There's no guarantee that you would get back to this situation. Like, as great as Indiana has looked all season long, there's no guarantee that you'll get back. I mean, I just got finished talking about the Celtics. Like, how soon we forget when the Celtics won last year in dominant fashion against the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals, and that we saw that this entire team was coming back together, basically. You imagine that Boston was going to do it again. But things happened. Injuries happened, and the Celtics ended up losing to the Knicks. So we talk about OKC. Is this the start of a dynasty? I said that we probably should pump the brakes on that as well because, again, we just don't know how things are going to shake out. You got to think about health. You got to think about matchups. You got to think about everybody in the Western Conference reloading and starting to stack to take out OKC. Again, Kevin Durant got traded to the Rockets, so there's already a shakeup. The NBA offseason is just getting started. There are in a number of multiple teams within the Western Conference that can take out the OKC Thunder. Oklahoma City only lost one game last year to the Eastern Conference in the regular season. And now it looks like the Eastern Conference has gotten even weaker with the injuries to Tatum, with the injury to Damian Lillard, and now the Achilles tear with Tyrese Haliburton. The East is completely wide open and up for grabs. I don't really see a dominant team. We can talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I don't believe in them in the postseason. So even if they win 70 games next year, I'm not going to believe in them in the playoffs until they show me. So I say that the Eastern Conference is wide open. But just as from a competitive standpoint with Tyrese Haliburton, I understand completely where he's coming from. I support him choosing to play. I mean, again, when you're in it, you understand the risk and you understand that there's a possibility that this injury could get worse. But it's Game 7 of a championship series. That's what you work so hard and kill yourself for every day to get to that point. So Tyrese gave it a go. And look, he came out on fire, hit 3 of his first 4 shots, and they were from 3. Looked like it was going to be a legendary Game 7 performance by Haliburton. It was going to be an even more competitive game than what we saw. Props to the Pacers. I mean, they continued to fight. TJ McConnell was amazing. I mean, honestly, if Indiana was going to win that game, he would have had my vote for Finals MVP because this guy has dug Indiana out of some holes. Like, when the energy was down, it looked like OKC was going to pull away. It was little TJ McConnell that really brought the spark back in the team and got him going. When it was giving him a chance. Siakam didn't play his best game in Game 7. You expected more from him. But by and large, this Pacers team continues to prove me wrong, proved a bunch of people wrong. Rick Carlisle, once again, proved what an amazing coach that he is. And Indiana has a chance to bring this group back. Obviously, it's going to look different without Haliburton, so you wonder what the Pacers are going to do in the meantime now that their point guard is down for likely all of next season. So a lot of questions. But I definitely just want to give my salute and my respect to Tyrese Haliburton for choosing to play through that injury. It's not an easy call to make. You know, it may seem easy when you're in the moment, but it's not an easy call to make because you know what could possibly happen. You know what the risks are. But shout out to OKC. Congratulations on the championship. Shout out to Indiana for an amazing season and just proving so many people wrong. And shout out to Tyrese Haliburton. You are not an overrated player, my friend. You gained a lot of fans and a lot of respect, especially right here.